Hello. Hi. A few days ago, someone had asked me about my mark making when I'm painting. They were having some challenges when they were painting, and they noticed some similarities in their mark making, and they didn't want that. Somehow they felt like all their strokes started to look the same, and I had a couple of tips for that. Like, you can, get a fresh sheet of either a canvas board, paper, whatever, and just try and paint out at least 20 different kinds of marks. You can turn your brush, you can flick it, you can have a dry brush effect, a really watery effect, you can layer, you can do a bunch of different ways. For me, I really luxuriate in that gessoing of the paper moment, and that's where I'm trying all the different marks out. Sometimes it's really heavy-handed and like you're just painting a wall, and sometimes it gets drier, and sometimes I'll scuttle around the paper. So I'm like really using that moment to loosen up before I start painting. So sometimes I'll just gesso paper before I start another painting. Besides that little trick that I do, I'm constantly thinking about the edges where two colors meet. I'm thinking about that shape. I'm thinking about depth. I'm thinking about form. So let me just show you this painting that I started a few days ago, where I was really thinking about form. And I don't know if it's because that conversation was still so fresh in my mind, but nonetheless, let me just show you and we'll take it from there. Okay. Here we have a painting that I started the other day, and I've already laid out the composition and where some things are to be, and I'm really going to go in and start to refine everything. The other day was play, and this is also play, but it's a little more thoughtful because I'm not underpainting anymore. When I do add paint to wherever it's going to be, if you notice, I'm not mixing it a lot. I'm letting whatever dripped on the page, those colors just kind of linger, especially if it's going to be contrasting really dark with a really vibrant color. I like to keep it fresh, keep those colors as vibrant as possible. I don't want them to get muddy. I want them to be bright. I will bring in some more darks with some more bright colors to keep edges as contrasty as possible. I think that's really important, especially to make these colors stay vibrant and to pop off the page a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot of don't overmix. If you notice, I don't hold on to the brush too tight. I hold it usually at the very end, and a lot of times I let the paint kind of move itself around in a way. I'm not controlling it that much. I rotate the brush, I kind of spin it around, and sometimes I do just paint like I'm coloring in, filling in a space. But I think that's really important to kind of change up how you hold the brush, because that's going to change the amount of pressure that you're pushing down how you're moving the paint around, in turn, of course, gonna give you a different mark. Combine that with really like the opacity of the paint. I put a lot of water down and let it pool, so that creates another level of variety in the mark making, which I play with a lot. A lot. When all else fails, put in some layers. I use layers a lot for depth, where I feel like a painting has gone flat. There's a little trick that I do where I kind of blur my eyes and let my eyes kind of float around a painting and just take note of where they're guided. And if there's an area of a painting that my eyes land on and just get kind of stuck there, whatever that is, I know that that's an area that's a little stagnant and has either no movement, or there's just something about an area that maybe stops being interesting. And I'll definitely go in later and add a little layer, a couple of strokes just to mix it up. It's such a different effect when you're able to let the paint dry and go back over it with another color, with a completely different texture, with a very different mark. It lands different. Sometimes we have to just move. We have to change our perspective. I constantly will rotate a painting to do that same thing, where I'm looking for where is my eye stopping? Where is this painting lacking something? I want to look at the whole thing, but I also kind of need to just move in order to do that. I always find myself walking away just for a minute, thinking I'm done. And when I come back, I notice something I can add, change, wipe off, to really, really finish a piece. There's something in that crucial element of taking a break. We need to just give our eyes a moment of rest. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed that 10 minutes of your life. Yeah, if you need any more tips, please put them in some comments and I'll be more than happy to give my 2 cents. For what it's worth, artist to artist, or, anybody out there that can use a little nudge or a little advice. I don't even like that word. I want to use a different word. That's why I say tips or pointers or something like that, because advice just sounds like you're doing something wrong. But I need to preface, you're not doing anything wrong. Promise you. If you're being creative, you're doing everything right. I think that we maybe get stuck in some sort of thought loop or something, that something isn't working out right or something isn't being done properly. But really, just if you can find a way to loosen up and put a little more play into your making, then it's gonna be great. It's gonna work out well, But if you found some help along the way in this video, awesome. I'm so glad that this was helpful for you, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your week, and take care, and I'll see you in another couple of weeks, okay, for another video. All right, bye.